Welcome everybody. The sky falls 79 to 52. There's another Michaela Timson sighting, and do I have to say it again? The Fever are 2-2 over the CC-less stretch, and that is all thanks to sign Aari McDonald now. Do it now. Figure it out, Fever. The announcers were talking about it during the game that we couldn't do it because of salary cap. If we drop someone, it creates cap room. Announcer, that's how you do it. So, and I know that there's the Data stuff. You can't deny it right now. She starts the game with back-to-back threes. She had 2 assists, 4 steals, drew offensive fouls yet again, 50% from 3, improving her numbers from last time. Traditionally, usually like a 40-30 player, but 50% three-pointer tonight, even a dagger at the end. Great to see from her. She was plus minus 19 on the floor. And for comparison, Colson was plus minus 6. So it's not that Colson played bad. She was also shooting 50% from 3 tonight. In fact, the Fever were shooting lights out from 3 tonight. But it's just another thing that shows you that on the defensive side of the ball, Aari's raising the bar for our team. And speaking of defense effort tonight, it was absolutely out of this world. Yes, the Sky are not a great basketball club. In my opinion, their rotations are horribly mismanaged, and their focus on what they're trying to do on offense. Yes, they lost Sloot with a knee injury. I hope the best for her. But man, watching this game, I mean, I'm not here to talk crap about this guy. I'm here to talk about the Fever. So they just left me very underwhelmed. I was not whelmed tonight. It was brutal. But that said, the Fever only gave up 52 points. The most they gave up in a quarter was 15, and one quarter they held them to 11. And I think it was the third quarter they held them to 11, almost single digits. That is crazy defensive effort that you want to see. And leading that charge, as always, is of course Lexi Hall with a plus minus of 27. 20. That's like practically our lead, like right there. I think that is our lead. Is Lexi Hall's impact on the floor, which is crazy to think about. She never disappoints. She's just always hustling, always making plays. Lots of tough shots, but 2 for 2 from 3. The Lexi Hall special, 2 assists, 2 steals, led the team in rebounds. A crazy stat that I didn't think I was going to say from Lexi Hall, but love to see the effort from her. And also the team rebounded against a traditionally good rebounding team. So good to see the effort from them tonight, of course, as always. And one thing that I saw from Lexi and the team and Aari as well that I just want to put a note on is that I love that they were pushing the ball up the court. So like even when, before it wasn't just, okay, I'm going to bring it up the court. They were actively passing ahead to try to find mismatches, trying to find a 3v3 game in the half court. This is a lot of like, if you're watching the NBA finals, this is a lot of what the Pacers are doing. They'll push the ball ahead just to play a 3v3 game. Now, of course, the Fever leave a lot to be desired there of having people take initiative. And there were some fumbles there. Kelsey Mitchell gave us great minutes tonight. I like that she's getting back into her rhythm. Her shot from 3 wasn't always falling, but the rest of it was really great. And she got us through a lot of speed bumps, although she did have a few passing flubs and in one of those moments where she drives and penetrates and pass out and kind of whiffs. There were some ugly moments. Thankfully, it was just as ugly on the Sky side. But Tasha Howard, I mean, she also had a few of those moments tonight, again, where she's just trying to do a little bit too much. However, she did shoot 60% from the floor, and she did hit a sick 3 at the shot clock buzzer, which was really great to see. And I think that she played a pretty admirable game tonight. Now, of course, Aaliyah Boston, low touches yet again. However, I will caveat with saying that the Sky were focusing on defending her. Kimla Cardoso is a tough matchup. She was on her most of the night. I think in some cases, Aaliyah Boston was a little bit unselfish. However, that said, I think that's part of adapting, right? If you know that you're going to have a hard offensive matchup down the paint against a 6'7" player that you know very well, then the next best thing is Aaliyah Boston uses her other talent, which is passing. And she had 5 assists tonight, a lot of them for 3-pointers. So great adaptations from Aaliyah. And also, I don't want to say anything, but somehow tonight she was getting some favorable ref calls tonight, which was great to see because normally she is cursed. The league normally hates her, but tonight she was getting some good calls, which is it was good for her sanity and my sanity, because I honed in on it because I love Aaliyah Boston as a player, and her whistle is diabolical. I wish that they would get fixed, but overall, good minutes from her, even with the lack of touches. And then of course, we also move into the fact that there was a Michaela Timson signing. She did get 3 minutes into this game. I wish she got more. Turner got brought in with about 6 minutes left. Turner's minutes were a little bit more productive because she had 2 rebounds and had more minutes, but she had 2 more rebounds, an assist. Did have 1 turnover and ended actually -1 in garbage time, where Michaela Timson was again only on for 3 minutes. I think she was like +/6 from back-to-back threes, I think from Colson and Aari down the stretch. So great to see from that standpoint. But I think that when I watched her on the floor, she was posting up a lot. They weren't really feeding her, so we didn't get to see any of that action. She was trying to put in effort to go save a ball at one point off a rebound, trying to throw it off a player. Didn't quite work out. She did give up 1 personal foul on defensive play, but otherwise, defensively, she was playing pretty well. I think the main thing I would say from her is just because she hasn't had as much time on the floor, she's still kind of getting acclimated. And since she hasn't had as much time, Turner's a more seasoned player. She's had more minutes on the WNBA court. Timson came off a little bit more timid than I would have liked. I would want a player that's a little bit more hungry, flying around, willing to make mistakes in garbage time. But I understand why that might have not happened, and she didn't get a lot of opportunities to be an offensive threat. Now, overall, I think this is a great performance by the Fever. And one thing I would like to say too is Stephanie White didn't travel with this game. Props to Austin for putting in a good stand-in performance. Not a lot of timeouts or anything needed this game. Of the games that you would have to have your head coach sit out, this is probably one that like felt pretty good. But congratulations to them on his first win. I wish the best for Stephanie White and her family, or whatever she has going on, first and foremost. And I will say that overall, I think this was a good game from the Fever. Again, they're 2-2 through the Caitlin Clark-less stretch. I think a lot of that is partly the spark of Aari McDonald making a big difference. And, who knows if they had her for this whole stretch. I think that there's an argument that they could be 4-0, or at the very least, they would be 3-1. They would have beat the Sun if they had Aari in there to help run their offense and that defensive boost as well, for sure. So with all that said, tell me what you think down in the comments. What do you think of Michaela Timson's minutes? What do you think of Aari McDonald? Of course, I'm on the signer bandwagon. I'm sure many of you are too. I really hope we retain her, because otherwise, there's no reason the Sky don't take her. They just had a front row seat to her demolishing them, and Sloot just went down. So teams are going to take her. You can't leave her on the market. She's too valuable an asset. This is quality minutes from a player that I would happily run over Colson. I don't care who they drop at this point, but you have to take her. She's just a better player and an upgrade for this team. Also, of course, enjoy on the outro the Caitlin Clark bench highlights, because there are a lot more of those tonight. And as always, remember, you're going to be amazing today because you are amazing. And I'll catch you next episode.